there, hi, and welcome back to another episode of Sit and Spin with me, your host, Joe. First off, a big thank you to all the Murcielago folks who liked the page and dug last week's show. Glad to help you guys out, whatever I can do. But today, we're going to be continuing on our trend of getting back to some music I didn't have a chance to quite cover back in 2014, even though it was released then. And I'm finally catching up on that now. And today's featured artist is The Lees of Memory, as I hide behind the album cover here. The Lees of Memory, if you may remember, way back to late August, early September, I did a show on Superdrag, their second album, their sophomore release, Head Trip in Every Key, which finally got a vinyl release on Side One Dummy Records. And I talked about at the time how some of the former members had a new band coming out, and when that record came out, we would get around reviewing that, and that is The Lees of Memory. And the main reason I didn't get around to this earlier is because for some reason I just kept putting off. The album came out back in September. I originally wanted to get it right when it came out, but I missed out on the first vinyl pressings, which were kind of like a blue and red swirl vinyl. I didn't get that. And then they did another colored vinyl pressing that I missed out on, and like, oh, I'll just have to get the black vinyl version. And this, that, and the other thing kept happening. I never got around to getting it. But right before Christmas, handily enough, they put out another limited version vinyl. And this one came on clear vinyl, which goes nicely with the clear vinyl release of Head Trip in Every Key by Superdrag. And the clear vinyl version is actually still available at the Side One Dummy website where you can pick it up. So I finally nabbed the record then, and it just came in, and just had a chance to really give it a few listens to. And it's great because the sound of it is exactly where I'm at right now. I still get a little bit of rocket essence to it, but it's also kind of a little bit more mellow and laid back in spots, and that's after a crazy winter holiday season. That's where my head's at, which is great. So the Lees of Memory are John Davis, formerly of Superdrag, and Brandon Fisher, formerly of Superdrag, along with their friend Nick Slack on drums. John plays he does all the lead vocals, plays a host of different guitars on the record, also bass, various keyboards, and he plays drums on one track. Brandon was Superdrag's lead guitarist. He plays electric and acoustic guitars as well as added vocals to the album. And the record was produced by Superdrag friend and Grammy-winning producer Nick Raskowitz, and I cannot say that name. Sorry, I massacred that, Nick. But it's great stuff. Unlike Superdrag, the Lees of Memory sound is kind of more shoegazey, which is a hazy, gauzy kind of wash of droning guitars, ethereal kind of feel to it. So named because when shoegaze first came about back in the late 80s, early 90s, the bands who played it were known for more looking down at their shoes or gazing at their shoes rather than looking out to the audience. Whereas Superdrag was kind of like more power pop, alt rock. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a little bit of the Superdrag sound on this album. And before I get more back into the music, I just wanted to comment on the title of the album. It's called Sisyphus Says. Sisyphus goes back to Greek mythology. He was known for his chronic deceitfulness and trickery, and he was punished by Zeus to endlessly roll a huge boulder up a steep hill only to have it roll back down and have him repeat the action over and over and over again. So what Sisyphus Says and where that comes into the stuff on this album, that's up for you to decide. But it's a great record. I got the vinyl, comes with a nice gatefold cover, and both the artwork pieces on the front were also painted by John Davis of the band himself. But let's get back to the music. The music. As I said, it's more of a shoegazy kind of sound, much like the song you're hearing right now. This is the first single, the opening cut of the album. It's called We Are Siamese, much like that old Disney cartoon, but not. But this is kind of like the sound of a kind of shoegazy thing. Think like, My Bloody Valentine and stuff like that. And there's other tracks on the album that definitely fit into that. Songs like Landslide, which definitely kind of feels like you are in one. As well as Reenactor, which is very cool, I like it. But some of the other tracks on the album really aren't all that far removed from Superdrag's sound. Take Little Fallen Star, for instance. Just slow down the pace and change out the guitars, and you got Lees of Memory. But, put some more 90s style guitar on it, speed it up a little, and you've got a Superdrag track. And there's a couple other songs of the album that kind of fit into that too. So if you're a Superdrag fan and you're wondering, will I like Lees of Memory? Yes, you will. Because there's other great tunes on the record like Not Second More, which is really upbeat, one of my favorite tracks on the album, as well as Lower Atmosphere, which is a great driving rocker. Those tracks could easily be the progression of what Superdrag was to what is now the Lees of Memory. Also, I really like the song Don't Part Ways, which is just a gorgeous little acoustic piece. And there's some other songs on the record I really like too, like One Wave in the Sea, which kind of reminds me of the Stone Roses, more rock and stuff, where they just get into this kind of repetitive, trippy groove. And the closing cut in the album is called I Want You to Let It Flow, which starts out with a church-like organ and then just kind of becomes this Brian Wilson meets John Lennon-esque bluesy country ballad. But I know that sounds crazy, but the best description I could come up with it for, but it's just awesome for what it works. And it's just great, great stuff. I'm glad in a way that I kind of held off on getting this because, like I said, this is just exactly where I'm at musically right now. And it couldn't have come at a better time. I think I wouldn't hit me as much if I'd gotten it back in September. My head wasn't kind of there, but now this is the perfect time to be listening to this record. And The Leaves of Memory, Sisyphus Says. It's out now. You can get it on vinyl, which does come with a digital download card, and what's cool about that is you can either get standard MP3s or you can get 24-bit higher resolution masters. And it's also available on cassette tape. That's kind of interesting and cool, but not on CD, at least not that I've been able to find out. But it's worth picking up on vinyl, especially if you're a vinyl fan, or if that's not your bag, get the cassette tape, get the digital download. But it's all good. The Leaves of Memory out now on Side 1 Dummy Records, whichever version of the vinyl color you get. It's all good. It's great music. And that is all we have for you this time on Sit and Spin with Joe. Tune in next week where I'm going to have something else that's kind of in that mellow feel for you. You'll have to tune in to find out what it is then. Until then, see you later. Hopefully you'll catch my good friend Scott over at Righteous Vinyl, speaking of vinyl. And the riff of the day, guys, if you caught that goofy little piece we did last week, we had a lot of fun with that. And a lot of new people posting over riff of the day, so that's cool. But until then, see you next time on Sit and Spin. Take it easy.